Welcome back to Chasing My Potential, where I help you discover those knowledge gaps massively holding you back. Whether it be them small technical details or your decision making, we cover it all, leaving no stone unturned. Musiala's performance versus Scotland was incredible. Let's deep dive into 9 of his best moments in this match and decode what makes him so great. After this analysis, I can guarantee you will never watch his game the same ever again. And for you players, you will go away with some actionable stuff to try and practice to replicate some of his game. Also, stick around to the end to get a discount code for our game-changing courses. His goal in the 18th minute, consisting of so many details in the build-up that makes it even better. How Kroos is always keeping an eye out if any of the marking midfielders have switched off. Here he goes to play the long pass, but notices the defender is following the winger, so the pass may not be successful. At the same time, he's glancing to see if any of Scotland's midfielders have switched off. And Gundogan's marker has completely forgot about him, as he anticipated the ball would be switched. And in a split second, Kroos catches him by surprise and plays this reverse pass to Gundogan, who takes it perfectly. Now this is a picture for Gundogan, and he finds this tiny passing lane to play in Havertz, who then chops against the defender's momentum and finds Musiala. And it's this touch which is great. Instead of taking the ball here, he actually delays and brings his leg back on the stretch to make contact with it here. Why does he do this? Touching the ball here allows him to open his hips up and make a sharper touch. These small details all make a huge difference. And then, great finish. In the 23rd minute, he wins a free kick with lightning fast feet on the edge of the box. Firstly, the touch, stopping it dead with his back foot. As soon as he controls, he reads he has an engaged defender pressing him. These small body feint buys himself some time, making the defender now plant his feet. Now, with the momentum advantage, he touches the ball across. Whether this touch was on purpose or not, he leaves the ball vulnerable for a split second, enticing this player to engage. And he stretches to keep it safe at the last moment. Now he goes into the croqueta, also known as the Iniesta, by stretching to tap the ball away from the other defender. And in the process of moving the ball away from the first defender, he wins a free kick. Okay, there are some important points in here. Firstly, I get asked a lot of the time how to win/draw more fouls. Firstly, to draw a foul, you actually need the defender firstly to be engaged or actually try and tackle you. Get amazing at the stretch touch with your reaction time. Not having your eyes glued to the ball, having your head slightly up, using your peripheral vision to see more around you. And on that point, in terms of studies, there's not many studies done with how awareness is actually done. Me personally, I think it's your peripheral vision that's picking up on different cues that are coming around you. And that's easier to achieve when you're in the flow state. In the future, the bigger we grow, I would love for CMP to be at the heart of innovation in player development. And I would love to do these studies myself because it's very important. At the moment, everyone's just guessing. I stated whether Musiala did the bait touch on purpose or not. Most likely not, but he would have been relaxed and assessing his surroundings with what's around him. And he's learned to react lightning fast to any pressure. But if you learn to do it intentionally, it's a great way to bait a defender into trying to tackle you, leading to a foul. He thinks the ball is free and he can poke it away, but you're one step ahead and instantly catch the ball just before he touches it. We covered that Vinicius does this a lot too in our last analysis of him. And again touches the ball, leaving it as bait and waits for the cue, and then destroys Kimmich, using the outstretched leg as the target to go around. In the 28th minute, we see this slick dribble, using again one of his favourite moves, la croqueta. Firstly, he stood side on, making it much easier to protect the ball as he can now move it away with his far foot, whilst holding off the defender. As he comes forward again, he senses the pressure. An engaged defender means they are coming in for a tackle. Instead of touching the ball right away, he leaves it without touching it for 2 strides. Paused here, for this engaged defender, this is information that the ball is free to tackle here. Now Musiala moves the ball away from this exact point at the perfect time, touching the ball nice and wide, even slightly backwards, and catches it again on a stretch. The more you watch Musiala, the more you will see the pattern of how he uses the stretch touch in his dribbles, making it so hard to tackle him. You think you've got the ball, and bam, he pokes the ball away at the last second. And when this happens for the defender, they're out of the race. Now, another stretch as he realizes there is pressure from behind. In this tight area, he can't waste time, he needs to keep moving. As he gets up, he touches it again. This is one thing Messi does in tight areas. He touches the ball with each stride to be as fast as possible, but also making it impossible for any defender to dive in. Because when they pick a point to tackle, by the time they go into tackle, the ball has already been moved again. Now, look at his eyes, not glued to the ball, he's looking in front using his peripheral vision. As he makes contact with the ball, he then looks at it, and as soon as it's left his foot, his eyes are in front of him again, gathering information. Now, Hazard-esque, he scoops the ball into space, cutting across the defender, and gets a foul. As the defender goes to get the ball, whether he was touched or not, Musiala goes down. He wasn't going to get back on the end of it, as this defender had covered inside. So learning when to go down at the right time is also key in some situations. Instead of losing the ball, he's got a free kick up the pitch because he went down. In the 40th minute, Musiala's dribble nearly leads to a goal. But how does he make it look so easy? He comes into this pocket of space easily, as Germany have a front five pinning everyone back. He does small body feints to unsettle the defender and easily cuts inside against his hips. But in these positions, it's always the secondary defender you need to look out for. As he touches the ball inside, he reads the defender's intentions to tackle as he aggressively plants his feet to re-engage. He stretches to touch the ball for protection, and as the defender engages, he touches it backwards to avoid the outstretched leg. Now, straight away, he touches the ball with a sharp chop inside, trying to get himself between the man and the ball, and another stretch to cut in front. And finally, he just toes the ball to the striker, who lays it off, and they nearly score from a cross. In the 47th minute, breaking from his own box, and you guessed it, another stretch touch. A great first touch into space, and as the defender engages, he stretches to chop inside, surprising him. Again, just like Messi, how he keeps his back foot skidding along the floor. In the 51st minute, he wins the ball back from a press, and look at the ball protection. He touches the ball into space with his back foot. Notice how this touch also looks like he could be opening up here, and it makes the defender run around this way slightly. As the ball moves backwards, he turns slightly side on to see the defender. He simply moves it away. With pressure still so tight, he moves backwards again, nullifying the pressure, and plays this slick 1-2, running off the blind side. Now, control, pass, and another blindside run. For you ballers who want to get better at receiving, really take note how he knocks the ball backwards, but tries to turn a little side on, so we can read what's going on behind it a little bit more. If you struggle with receiving, one of your main issues may be you knock the ball backwards when there's pressure behind you, and you just stay square, instead of turning side on so you can actually have a quick glance of what's looking. If you're square, you have to turn your head all the way around, and that's impossible. And like I've previously mentioned, we're in the process of decoding every single way to receive the ball in every single possible scenario to build out the course, the art of receiving, which will give you full clarity in any situation, especially in the middle of the pitch. That's the one we all struggle with. It's coming together so nicely, and we're discovering so many patterns. For those who have tons of knowledge gaps in this area, I'm excited for you guys to see it when it's out. In the 57th minute, he's dribbling again, opening up an opportunity for a shot on goal. And just on this point, it's funny, no matter the quality of the passers in any team, sometimes games become too rigid and the opposition team are very organised. So teams eventually in those type of games have to rely on that one skillful player to create some magic and open up some space. City do it with Doku, and Germany in the future games against some bigger opponents, they can easily do this with Musiala. He is such a valuable player. And being a good dribbler as a winger or attacking midfielder is something that will set you apart. But remember, there are different types of dribblers. This is why any player can learn to do it. For less physical players, we see the style of Santi Cazorla, David Silva, Iniesta. But more physical players, we see them use dribbling in a different way. Doku, Mbappe. But Musiala is interesting because he can fit into both. Let's deep dive into his dribbling IQ. He receives the ball and does body feints and step overs. What does this do? If you have an engaged defender coming, it will make him stop and begin to jockey instead. It's a great tactic to give yourself more time on the ball. So now, he's in a natural 1v1. He takes the ball down the line slowly and tries to turn the defender's hip by touching it inside, but the defender keeps backing off cautiously. But his hips are now square. Musiala takes advantage of this, and after some sharp body feints making the defender off balance, he sharply chops the ball into space. With the dribbling framework I created, the 4 pillars of a successful dribble, which you can become an expert with in this course, he now has a second pillar, momentum advantage. Now onto the third pillar. The defender is playing catch-up, and he uses this space as bait for a fake cross, now laying the ball off to his teammate, who crosses a ball with so much time thanks to Musiala's dribble. And that could have easily been a goal. In the 58th minute, he squeezes a dangerous cross into the box. He has his teammate making the blindside run but decides not to pass, probably because the teammate would have got trapped in the corner due to the recovering defender. So to beat a defender, you need them to engage. If they don't and keep backing off, take advantage of this by getting that cross into the box like this. A few body feints to unsettle a defender, now out of his feet for a fake deep cross, but the defender reacts to nothing. If he wanted him to turn his hips more, he needs to touch the ball again this way. So he slows him down and simply touches into space and squeezes in a cross. Sometimes with dribbling though, you don't need to overcomplicate it. It's all about firstly reading your defender type. If he's not engaging no matter what and just keeps backing off, you don't need to beat him to make an impact in that given scenario that you're in. Because the only reason you need to beat somebody anyway is to put the ball eventually into a dangerous position. So if you can do that without fully beating somebody and just knocking the ball past them and squeezing a cross in, do it. Lastly, in the 67th minute, just before he was substituted, his through ball eventually leads to this goal. His teammate again making this aggressive run, such a hassle for the opposition. With no space out wide, he now cuts inside with an aggressive body feint and finds Gundogan's blindside run through this passing lane. Who gets the touch wrong, but Germany pick up the second ball, and what a goal. And there we have it. Now I can guarantee you will watch Musiala in a completely different way now. You know his favourite skills, such as a stretch touch, he likes little body feints, step overs, and also la croqueta. He's one of the most exciting players in this whole tournament, and players and coaches can learn so much from him. If you want to learn the most effective framework to become an intelligent dribbler, mastering every single dribbling skill, scenario and defender type, type in code Musiala on checkout to get 15% off the elite level dribbling guide. I want to assure you this isn't just flimsy cone drills and vague information. It's scientifically correct due to years of observational study and practical tests. Join over 4,000 players, coaches, parents and analysts by signing up today and join the new wave of top dribblers emerging. Because like anything, there are rules to it. And if you don't know them, there's no way you can maximize your potential in it. Let me know, do you think Germany can go the whole way? And could Musiala win player of the tournament? As always, a big thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, as we will be pumping out the top performances from the Euros. So follow along. Next time you watch Musiala, try and notice everything that we've covered in this analysis. But most of all, keep chasing your potential.